and welcome back to Financial Podcast. I'm your host, Olivia, and today we're diving into a story that has sent ripples across the tech world and Wall Street. The legendary Apple designer, Sir Jony Ive, joining forces with OpenAI, the powerhouse behind ChatGPT. This isn't just a fascinating collaboration, it's a bold strategic move with significant implications for the future of technology and potentially your investment portfolio. But before we get into the details of this groundbreaking partnership and what it could mean, please take a moment to subscribe to the channel if you haven't already, and give this video a like. Your support helps us bring you the latest insights on finance, technology, and the markets that shape our world. Thank you. Now, let's talk about Jony Ive. Sir Jony Ive is a hugely influential British designer. He was the creative force behind the look of some of Apple's most iconic and successful products for 27 years, including the iMac in 1998, the iPod, the iPad in 2010, and arguably his most earth-shaking creation, the iPhone, launched in 2007. He worked closely with Apple co-founder Steve Jobs after Jobs returned to Apple in 1997, forming a partnership that led to a succession of game-changing products. Ive became known for a meticulous design aesthetic that shaped the cultural zeitgeist. Apple's TV commercials and product announcements often featured Ive discussing his designs with a British accent in a hushed tone. Apple CEO Tim Cook described him as a singular figure in the design world, and his role in Apple's revival cannot be overstated when Ive left the company in 2019. He departed Apple with the conviction that his most important and useful work still lay ahead of him. After leaving Apple in 2019, Sir Jony founded his own design firm, LoveFrom. The name LoveFrom was inspired by something Steve Jobs once said about hailing humanity by making something with a great deal of care and love. LoveFrom is described as a collective for different creative talents, including architects, filmmakers, engineers, and sound designers. LoveFrom has worked with various companies such as Airbnb, Montclair, and Ferrari. They even created the coronation emblem for King Charles III. The firm is based in San Francisco's historic Jackson Square neighborhood. Now, the big news is that Sir Jony Ive is joining OpenAI as part of a significant deal. OpenAI, the maker of ChatGPT, is buying Sir Jony's startup, IO, in a deal valued at approximately £6.5 billion, or around $6.4 billion according to American media. This is an all-stock deal. Ive and his startup team will lead design efforts at OpenAI. Sam Altman, CEO of OpenAI, called Sir Jony the greatest designer in the world and said he was thrilled about the partnership. The idea for the startup, IO, which Sir Jony founded last year with others, emerged from a quiet collaboration with OpenAI that began 2 years ago. Both Ive and Altman realized that to develop, engineer, and manufacture a new family of products with their ambitions, a completely new company was needed. OpenAI had already held a 23% stake in the IO startup prior to this announcement. Initially, Ive's startup intended to build and sell its own device using OpenAI technology. However, it became clear that because the device is central to how users would interact with OpenAI, the two companies needed to combine forces. The core mission of this partnership is to reimagine what it means to use a computer and to create a new generation of AI-powered computers. Sam Altman stated in a video accompanying the announcement that he believes they have the opportunity to completely rethink how we interact with technology. Sir Jony echoed this sentiment, saying he believes the world is on the brink of a new generation of technology. Their goal is to create a family of devices designed specifically with artificial intelligence in mind. While details are scarce, some tantalizing hints about the first device have emerged from a meeting Altman and Ive held with OpenAI staff. Altman reportedly told staff that the aim is to ship 100 million of these AI companions, and he believes OpenAI will ship that number faster than any company has shipped 100 million of something new before. They plan for the device to be a user's third device, placed on their desk after an iPhone and a MacBook Pro. It would be unobtrusive and able to go on a desk or in a pocket. Critically, the device is said to be entirely aware of a user's surroundings and even their life. Altman mentioned it would be a family of devices, and Ive referred to it as a new design movement. They concluded that existing devices, like current laptops or websites, would not be sufficient for their vision, as current use of AI doesn't live up to the sci-fi dream of what the models are capable of. What is known is that the device will not be a smartphone, and Altman has stated it's not a pair of glasses. Sir Jony is reportedly skeptical about making a wearable device. A prototype of the device already exists, and Sam Altman has reportedly tried it out and has been living with it. He described it as the coolest piece of technology that the world will have ever seen. The goal is to release a device by late 2026. Altman reportedly suggested that acquiring Ive's company could potentially add $1 trillion in value to OpenAI. This move by OpenAI into hardware is significant, especially considering the challenges other companies have faced. Recent attempts at developing new hardware based around AI have struggled to gain consumer interest and have attracted criticism. For example, companies like Humane AI and Rabbit have tried to build bespoke devices for the AI era. The Humane AI pin, founded by former Apple executives, faced criticism for issues like battery life, heat, limited functionality, and high costs. This highlights the execution risks involved in developing successful hardware. OpenAI's foray into hardware also comes at a time when its tech rivals like Meta, Google, and Apple have also been investing in products such as headsets and glasses, seeing new opportunities driven by advances in AI. Ben Wood, chief analyst at CCS Insight, noted that OpenAI would likely prefer a direct relationship with its customers rather than delivering services through devices made or powered by Apple or Google. Some analysts suggest that Ive's transfer puts a spotlight on Apple, which some criticize for being slow to integrate AI into its devices. Following the news of Ive's partnership with OpenAI, shares in Apple fell by more than 2%. The Sox Bank source notes that Apple investors showed nervousness, wiping roughly $45 billion off the company's value in reaction to the deal. From an investment perspective, this bold step marries groundbreaking AI technology with legendary design talent. For investors already following the AI boom, OpenAI's push into hardware signals a shift in how AI could impact daily life. Currently, the AI trade is often focused on cloud computing and chip makers, but hardware integration is a different game, riskier and more expensive. Sam Altman and Jony Ive aren't just trying to create a new gadget, they aim to change our fundamental interaction with technology. This transformation could create winners and losers. Potential winners include semiconductors and sensor makers like Qualcomm, Sony for image sensors, and TSMC, who could benefit from the demand for specialized components for new AI devices. Companies mastering edge AI technology, focusing on low-power, high-performance chips for personal devices, could also gain substantially. On the other hand, legacy hardware firms relying on incremental upgrades and lacking deep AI integration risk obsolescence. Apple, in the short term, is seen as potentially losing ground. The wildcards are tech giants like Meta, Microsoft, and Google, who will need to respond quickly, either by embracing more sophisticated hardware or risking falling behind. For investors, this situation requires a balanced approach. Enthusiasm should be tempered with caution. It's crucial to diversify AI portfolios beyond the obvious names, perhaps exploring edge AI component manufacturers. Investors should also be mindful of potential margin pressures, as hardware typically means tighter margins and higher volatility. Game-changing devices require excellent execution and can be expensive to get right. Following integrated ecosystems, companies building complete AI-driven experiences from hardware to cloud might be beneficial. Crucially, investors must mind valuations and avoid the hype trap, staying grounded on valuation and long-term risks. History shows that not every promising innovation catches on. As the Saxo Bank source puts it, designing a revolutionary product is like building an aircraft in mid-flight. It requires brilliance, balance, and bravery, but even brilliant pilots occasionally lose control. Beyond the core business move, Sir Jony Ive has also been making significant investments in the San Francisco neighborhood of Jackson Square, where LoveFrom is based. Since the pandemic began, he has been acquiring a vast chunk of real estate in downtown San Francisco, estimated to be worth over $100 million, equating to half a city block. This includes offices, private residences, and a fly fishing shop. This scale of acquisition is remarkable, especially given that San Francisco was significantly impacted by the pandemic, with many tech companies going remote, leading to a decline in the urban core and high office vacancies. Ive sees basing his business here and investing in the neighborhood as a way to contribute to the city's revival and bring people back downtown. He is restoring historic 19th century buildings with his studio's oversight and creating a landscaped area called the Pavilion in the center of the block. Ive emphasizes that this isn't property development for fiscal benefit, but rather an investment out of love for the neighborhood, which he believes deserves investment. Jackson Square holds personal significance for him, as it's where he first came to the U.S. in 1989. LoveFrom is even helping local businesses like William Stout Architectural Books and the Quince Restaurant with their branding and menus, seen as giving back to the community. San Francisco itself has a history of boom and bust cycles, going back to the first gold rush in 1849. The city has often been left to pick up the pieces after fortunes are made and lost. Longtime residents see the current energy around artificial intelligence as the latest upswing. However, the city has also faced significant social challenges in recent years, including a homelessness crisis compounded by issues like fentanyl and inequality. Some residents felt that during the pandemic, many businesses acted like fair-weather friends, leaving when things got difficult. New Mayor Daniel Lurie is actively working to crack down on crime and bring businesses back downtown, referencing Ive's investments as an example of how companies can be part of the community. Ive acknowledges the problems and suffering the city has faced, but states his goal isn't just to shift the narrative, but to help shift the city itself. This commitment to the physical space and community in San Francisco provides an interesting backdrop to the highly secretive AI hardware project LoveFrom and OpenAI are developing, which reportedly has the same mystique and air of importance as Apple projects under Steve Jobs. Ultimately, OpenAI's acquisition of I.O. and partnership with Jony Ive is a high-stakes gamble. It combines some of the most advanced AI capabilities with unparalleled design expertise, aiming to redefine how we interact with technology. While the vision is incredibly exciting, a seamless AI-powered companion device that integrates effortlessly into daily life, potentially going beyond screens and current interfaces, the challenges of bringing complex hardware to market successfully are immense. Success requires not just brilliant technology, but flawless execution and the ability to create something consumers genuinely desire. As Jony Ive himself noted upon leaving Apple, everything he learned over 30 years led him to believe his most important work was still ahead. For investors, this presents both opportunity and caution, requiring disciplined thinking amidst the excitement. Before we wrap up today's episode of Financial Podcast, I want to remind you again to subscribe to the channel and like this video if you found the information valuable. That's all for today's deep dive into the OpenAI and Jony Ive partnership. It's a story we'll be following closely, so stay tuned. I'm Olivia, and this has been Financial Podcast. Thank you for listening.